So we're going to take a few minutes now and go over the features and benefits of what is my absolute favorite ride-on floor scraper to use and operate. It's the Novatec T5500PRO Terminator. Really, really a nice machine. Very easy to drive and a very, very powerful machine. And another thing that I really like about this machine is kind of its history of this exact propane machine. You go back 25 years ago and you find the very first ride-on floor scraper that was ever manufactured was by a Novatec, and it was this machine. Just thought I'd show you a real quick picture. That's what they looked like when they first were built 25 years ago. And basically what that has done, though, is it's allowed us to develop this machine into a better and better machine, making it the one that we see before us today. I'll show you the things that I like about it. One is, if you look at propane machines in general in the market, most of them have maybe a 17 horsepower Kawasaki, maybe 25 horsepower Kawasaki's and Kohlers, that kind of a thing. And they're a good motor, they're a good engine. It's just that they're not a very big engine. Let me show you what the 5500 has in it for an engine. That is a 55 horsepower Kubota engine. Really, really a nice, very powerful engine. In fact, a number of years ago, we used to make this machine with a Chevy Vortec. It's a good engine as well, but the Chevy quit making that, so we had to find something else. And we took that as a time for an opportunity to really find something that would really set us apart as far as a propane-powered machine. And that's when we came up with the Kubota. When we were getting this Kubota certified, they sent engineers out, and I happened to be talking to one, and he says, this is well overbuilt because it's been built to run diesel. And if you know anything about engines, the engines that are built much more heavy duty to be able to handle the pressures of a diesel engine, and then when you convert it over to propane, basically it's overbuilt. So it's really a nice engine. Another thing that does, because it's a 55 horsepower, it's delivering almost 1,800 foot-pounds of torque to the back wheels. A lot of power going to those back wheels. It's doing it at a variable speed as well. This machine will go 350 feet a minute, or anything in between, all the way down to just creeping. And that's really important, to have a machine that when you're in tight spots and you need to creep down a tight hallway, go through a skinny 30-inch door, when you're able to do that with this machine and creep like that, it really, really is a critical thing. Another thing that makes it such an aggressive machine is its weight. This machine comes stock with a weight of 2,943 pounds. And if that's not enough, you can also add weight to it. You can add another 800 pounds of optional side weights to it that go along the side, bringing the machine up to a fully loaded machine of 3,743 if you want a machine that heavy for really, really the hard removals. Also, you can take weight off of this machine. There's actually 870 pounds of removable weight that you can take off this machine, bringing down the minimum usable weight to operate this machine is 2,073 pounds. So you can get it into just about any elevator, just about any floor that's a concrete floor, because you can get it down to a very lightweight if you need to. And you can notice it's easily done. Like up front, there's 6 weights here that are 2 bolts holding on those 6 weights, come off very easy. If you come back here, you'll notice there are wheel weights here. You take 2 little nuts off, those wheel weights will come off. Also in the back are actually 8 weights, and they're all being held on by 1 bolt. So you can very easily take all the weights off this machine or add weights to it. Another thing that I really appreciate about this machine, since I'm standing back here, I'll show you. You'll notice that it has wheel scrapers. Very, very important. If you think about, just about all of us have pulled up VCT at some time or another. And we know that VCT glue is as sticky the day you remove it as the day you installed it. And those little shards of VCT, they stick to your feet, they stick to your knee pads, they also stick to the wheels. And so you adjust those scrapers down so they're just almost touching the wheels. That way when you're driving forward, you're driving backward, you're constantly shaving those wheels off. A really nice feature. Also has forklift points. You'll notice here, go through obviously to both sides, and people will also use those forklift points to tie the machine down. So they'll run chains or they'll run straps through there, and tie the machine down using those forklift points. That having been said, we do have dedicated tie down points here on the other side, and then dead center in between the two drive wheels in the back. Up front, looking at the front of the machine, you've got a very nice ergonomic seat with armrests. Also, the T5500 comes with a seat belt. It's got an emergency, that's a brake that's adjustable here as well. And then looking up in front, we've got, of course, a keyed ignition. Take the key out when you have to leave the machine at night so nobody can mess with it. Also has a check engine light. If you are having some kind of a problem with your engine, the machine will warn you. It also has an oil clog indicator light. So you have a hydraulic filter in this machine. If your hydraulic filter becomes clogged, this machine will warn you that it has. Over here on this side, you've got another gauge that has your tachometer on it, but it also has a little readout behind it. And if you were to say have a check engine light, you could come over here, push this button, and then there's error codes in there. You just see what the error code is. You can look it up in your owner's manual, and it will tell you what it's referring to. Also, if you push that button again, it will give you the hours of the machine, and if you keep pushing it, it will give you all the relevant information of how the engine is running. The temperature of the exhaust, the temperature of the intake manifold, your battery condition, also the temperature of your coolant system as well, all inside this one little dial. Really nice. You'll notice that it has easy to use joysticks, which are really cool. And you'll notice on each joystick there's a lock-off mechanism. Also, there's a lock-off on the seat itself. So in order to make this machine move, you have to be sitting on the seat and be pressing at least one of the two lock-off switches to be able to go forward and to be able to go in reverse as well. Another thing that is really nice about the 5500 Pro is you have toggle switches. So as you're running this machine with your thumb, you can raise the jaw or lower the jaw however you want to as you're driving the machine. Also, on the left side, you've got a thumb throttle, so you can speed the machine up or you can lower the RPMs down as well. And you can do both of those things as you're driving the machine. It's really makes for a nice, effective machine. Also has a couple buttons on this left side. I'll show you. It's got an amber warning light as well. But when you depress the button, you end up with a light that comes on for if you're working in dark areas. That light really helps you be able to see what's going on. Also has another switch that is for if you got an optional mister. So you could actually have a water tank back here, lines that go down to sprayers in front. So if you're removing material that's very dusty, that kind of material, ceramic tile, cementous toppings, you can actually spray the material down as you're removing it. Nice little option, and it's controlled here. Also, while I got the key on, it's got reverse warning sounds. Also has a fire extinguisher. As we work our way around, I'll show you another thing that I really like about this machine. If you'll notice that there are no hydraulic lines exposed whatsoever. All the electrical lines, all the hydraulic lines are all back tucked inside the body of the machine, protected from debris. But you'll notice as we had this door open, you can get to the components very easily, lifting the lid, opening the doors. But also, all these panels come off, 4 bolts each, and all these panels come off. Now the whole machine is very easily accessible by removing those panels. Very easy to work on for maintenance and repairs or anything like that. Very easily done. Another thing I really like is you'll notice that most machines you look at will have pegs that you put your feet on. That's where your feet sit, right in those spots for 8 hours a day. Not very comfortable. We have a full floorboard that makes it much more comfortable. But that's not why we did the floorboard. We do the floorboard and all the Terminators as a protection for the operator, so the operator doesn't get injured. If you think about it, if you're removing wood plank flooring or maybe luxury vinyl planks, those kinds of things, you obviously want to try to remove from the side, right? But sometimes you can't do that. Sometimes, like maybe going down a hallway, you have to remove by the length. And that's when they can come up, they can damage the machine if it's not protected. If you don't have a shield protecting the operator, it can come up and damage the operator. So it's really a nice design point there as well. Another thing that I'll show you that I think is really, really nice that all the Terminators have, and I think is really an important upgrade, it's the way the jaw works and the way the receiver on the jaw specifically works. You'll notice that you can put your tooling in here like normal, but you'll notice that if you pull this pin, you can actually change the angle of attack that this jaw has to a much more steep angle of attack or a lot less of an angle of attack. And I'll tell you why that's important. That pin just slides in there and you're ready to go. Why that's important is in the old days, when you were removing material and you needed to have a steeper attack angle to get that material to hit it harder, you had to lift the machine up higher and higher to do that. And the problem with doing that is as you lift that machine higher, you're transferring your weight from the jaw where you really want the downward pressure, you're transferring it to the back of the machine. And so it becomes counterproductive the higher you go. It also lessens the direct on impact because now you have a machine that's more of a scissor. And so when it hits something, it wants to scissor and then it would go through. But now you can get that very steep attack angle just like that, lift the machine just an inch off the ground, and now you have a dead straight on impact with the material. Makes for a much more capable and aggressive removal machine. Now some other manufacturers do that, but they do it with a hydraulic system, and then it has more hydraulic lines to be damaged. So we just find that this is much more robust. There's nothing to break on it. You go onto a job site, you see how you want your jaw set, you set it that one time for the day, and that's where you leave it. Nice setup that I find really, really helpful in flooring removals. So that's basically the features and benefits of the Terminator T5500PRO. If you can use propane, if you're on job sites that would allow that, like demolition and abatement, general contracting oftentimes, if you can use propane, by far this is the best machine to have. Really is a nice, comfortable machine to drive.
If you like this video, click the subscribe button below or check out our other videos to the right.